You can sort of think of this as an intercourse series. I really don't know how far I intend to ride this out yet, but it's basically going to consist of me reading over embarrassing video game fanfiction garbage on the internet. I'm joking, of course. What I meant to say was that I was going to be reading over Crappypasta on the internet. So, all the same, I hope you enjoy. In the meantime, I'll be getting the next game playthrough set up and underway, whichever one that'll be. This one is called The Cosmic Destroyer. Obviously, it's a Mother 1 creepypasta. Is everybody ready?
Good. Then we can begin. Stardate 1407, 8207, 56-1909. Our frigate has safely arrived at the chosen planet. Their technology is primitive, and thus they failed to detect us entering the atmosphere. We are currently cloaked above their planet, known locally as Earth. We will begin the search on the 7th of July, 1909, Earth time. Stardate 1408, 8207, 56-1909. The search was a success. The scout ship found and abducted the perfect specimens for the task. 2 human beings, middle-aged, 1 male, 1 female. The male was more resilient and protected the female. We assume they are mates. We will introduce them to the prince once they have calmed down from their ordeal. Stardate 1409, 8207, 56-1909. It seems the female subject and the infant prince have developed a bond. We placed the subjects in the prince's quarters to see how they would react to each other. It was the male who first noticed the prince sleeping soundly in his cot. The male told the female, referring to her as Maria, who seemed to be amazed at the young prince. After a while of studying him, the prince awoke to the face of the female subject. They stared at each other for a while, until the female stroked the prince's face. The prince gurgled happily and held the female's hand. The male seemed uneasy about developing a bond, but the female was reassured, referring to the male as George. The male was soon won over, and the subjects began taking care of the infant prince. After about 300 ticks, the subjects were removed and taken back to their cells. We are assured that they will raise the prince well.
Okay, so first of all, I presume they're using computer ticks, except that doesn't make any sense because computer ticks occur over the span of nanoseconds. Whatever.
Next log. Stardate 3723, 9410, 56-1911. We have had no need to report on the welfare of the prince and the subjects for a while now, due to his raising seemingly going smoothly.
I'm sorry, but from a grammatic standpoint, that last sentence was just painful. I say enough with the verbing and the adjectiving and the adverbiary.
But it seems things were not going as well as we had hoped. First of all, the male subject has escaped. We are as-of- now, unsure how he escaped and where he went, though we have a fairly good idea. He attempted to return to Earth. The Mook are looking into the case. Secondly, the prince's upbringing has been deemed a failure. The male and female subjects appear to have been raising him as their own, not as an outsider. Due to this, he has developed an emotion we thought we had long been rid of: care. The female subject was too kind on him. We heard her singing some sort of lullaby to calm the prince down and get him to sleep. Contact between the prince and the female has been broken. You will most likely never have a need for her again.
So apparently this supremely advanced alien species raises its young by abducting random creatures from the backwater space boonies? I mean, at least the last game I played tried to explain that this tiny mouse person was part of some botched experiment that went horribly wrong, and that's why he went all psychotic.
Continuing on. Thirdly, the prince seems to have learned the language of the subjects, English, a human language. We have forbid him from ever speaking in their tongue. We have, however, learned some useful information from the female subject. Due to her teachings of English to the prince, they were able of some kind of communication.
That sentence makes no sense. Continuing onward.
The prince told the female subject about his sleep terrors. He claimed he could see a swirling vortex of red. In the center of the vortex, there appeared to be 4 beings. He claims they are human, though the subjects may have clouded his vision with their humanization.
Okay, first of all, you're using that word without even knowing what it means. Humanization means establishing pathos for a foreign or otherwise deemed nice species, race, or individual. Humanization is not when another species projects some aspect of humanity onto themselves. The correct term in this case is imprinting. The mother is imprinting human traits upon her adoptive child. Moving on.
The 4 shapes, he claims, are robotic in shape, which contradicts the shapes possibly being human.
Could you talk more about shapes while you're at it?
However, he swears that 3 sound like males, 1 female. The female sounds like she is praying, while a repeated phrase from the males appears to be sigh, followed by some other unidentifiable phrase. More information is needed from the prince, as sigh is a phrase commonly used by our armies when unleashing their psychic attacks.
I know that last part was meant to explain what sigh is to any readers who've never heard about the Mother games before, and just happened to read a creepypasta about the game they had never played because reasons. At the same time, I like to imagine that the in-universe reason for this explanation is that the narrator is trying to dumb down this report they're sending in under the presumption that their boss is just the one member of their species that is literally too stupid to know how psychic powers work.
Stardate 3729, 9410, 56-1911. We have made a breakthrough in the disappearance of the male subject and the prince's sleep terrors. It appears that, without our permission, the male subject was studying our psychic powers. The female subject claims she knew nothing of our powers, or of her mate studying them. We do not trust her anymore, but if she can aid us in the prince's sleep terrors, we may pardon her and allow her to return back to Earth. On the subject of the sleep terrors, we have identified the beings in his dream. 2 are of no significance. However, the female and male appear to be highly skilled in psychic powers, similar to adolescents of our race. We believe them to be descendants of the escaped male subject, though confirmations are few and far between. Stardate 3731, 9410, 56-1911. After some research into the sleep terrors, we have a theory. Many races came to the birth of the prince. Many left gifts. Some, we are still unsure of what exactly they are, but it could be possible that one of the races left the Apple of Enlightenment as a gift.
Now, I'm no genius here, but I'm going to guess that the big reveal is that this is all a prequel to the life of Brian. You know, with all the messianic symbolism and all.
The Apple, it is rumored, has the ability for its users to see into the future. Unfortunately, it can't check your grammar. Is it possible that the prince is witnessing an assault on Earth by his future self? At the moment, this theory is a simple speculation. As of the red vortex, we doubt we will ever discover what it is. Another dimension? Possibly. The prince is still being questioned. Stardate 3810, 9411, 561911. The theory was correct, impossibly. We have located the Apple of Enlightenment. It was hidden in one of the prince's favorite playthings. Strangely, it looks nothing like the apple, a fruit found on Earth. It is more of a sphere, with a strange light inside. It has been confiscated, and there is an as-of-yet unofficial experiment being conducted on it. Stardate 3824, 9411, 561911. The Apple of Enlightenment has been an asset during the research going into it.
Another sentence constructed from rather painful grammar.
During these experiments, we have been able to predict what events will occur, when and where. Because of the Apple's power, no one other than the Discovery Team and the Experiment Team will know of its existence, bar some exceptions. The Prince's therapy is going well. He has lost feelings for the subjects, and he has seemed to lost the ability to speak in human tongue. The female subject will be disposed of, quietly. She has outlived her usefulness.
By the way, it's never explained what the narrator actually does or who they're actually writing to. I guess they're supposed to be the captain of the ship, but at the same time they're doing experiments on the Apple, and they're doing human subject testing. Oh, and they're also Brian Regan's child psychologist. Yeah, apparently he's an alien in this universe. You know, where this narrator is just kind of everywhere at once.
Final long. Stardate 5411, 6314, 56 1979. The day has finally arrived.
Wait, why didn't you make this final entry take place at 1979? You do know that the game you're writing your Crappypasta around just actually took place in 1987, right?
The prince has come far since when he was a youngling.
Another piece of painful grammar.
The therapy and strict training mostly helped. I'm sure the king and queen would be proud of him.
Oh, jeez, for goodness sake. First off, your baby prince is now a geriatric old man at this point. What kind of therapy program takes 58 years to complete? It's not like your kid just graduated high school or something.
Today, the prince will begin his assault on Earth. It has been a while since we ever spoke of Earth and humans around him, in case something resurfaced. He now has a feeling of hatred towards all other inferior species, but mainly humans. Soon they will be no more. The prince has decided to take his best army of starmen with him to eradicate the human scum. Today is the day every universe will remember. The day that Prince Gygas, the cosmic destroyer, took out his first planet, Earth, and all of its inhabitants. Hail Prince Gygas!
That's it. The story just ends right there. You know, just a reminder that all of this occurs practically a decade before the events of the video game that this person is writing their damn fanfiction off of. So the twist ending of this story is that Gygas was in fact Gygas. You know, except when he isn't because people call him Gygu instead. You know, it's the whole Eris versus Aerith debate. Well, technically in the first game, when he still looked like a tiny mouse person, people called him Gygu, and in the second game, they called him Gygas when he turned into the red swirling baby mosaic form. You know, the one that people made all those fetus theories about. The thing about this story is that it's bad, but it's not laugh out loud bad. It's the same sort of, let's write the backstory of X character from Y game, where the big twist is something you'll probably figure out the second you start reading this sort of story. Well, at least as long as you all had fun with these and enjoyed the sound of me choking under the weight of my own saltiness, and I'll be happy to read some more stories that will hopefully be worse and more entertaining.
For your sake, at least.